More than 25,000 teachers in Los Angeles won't be going to work today after a breakdown in contract talks. The strike in the nation's second largest school district affects more than 1,000 schools and more than 600,000 students. A funding battle between teachers and the district follows similar walkouts last year in 6 states, starting with West Virginia. Tony DeCopel is outside John Marshall High School in Los Angeles. Tony, good morning.
Good morning. When the bell rings here, and in fact all across Los Angeles, school will be open, but it's likely to be very different inside. It'll be run by an emergency staff of administrators, volunteers, and substitutes, while teachers are out here on the picket line. It is their first strike in 30 years, and their argument is quite simple. If every public school kid is to get a chance, every public school needs more funding.
We are more convinced than ever that the district won't move without a strike.
The Los Angeles Teachers Union is trading chalkboards for street signs today.
You're no good.
After more than a year of failed negotiations with the LA Unified School District.
I came to LA Unified in the late 90s when there was class size reduction and classes were 1 to 20. And now my classes are double. It's hard to breathe. Hard to breathe in a class that size, let alone teach.
Noriko Nakata hasn't received a raise in more than 10 years, but she says what's really heartbreaking is watching her students suffer.
We have a nurse 1 day a week. So if you don't get sick on Wednesday, you're out of luck.
The Los Angeles public school population is one of the most vulnerable in the country. 80% of students qualify as low income. And yet California's public school funding per student lags behind the national average and way behind similar states like New York. Los Angeles Unified School District Superintendent Austin Bootner.
Is there not a crisis here with classrooms as large as 50 students?
Absolutely, it's a crisis. It's a state crisis, not a local crisis. 90% of funding comes at the state level.
While Bootner has failed to reach a deal with teachers, he says he actually agrees with their demands.
So if money were no object, would you give the teachers what they're asking for?
And more, absolutely.
If what you're saying is that you agree more funds need to be provided, the state's not giving them, why aren't you on the picket line?
I'm doing my work. I don't think closing our schools, putting our kids in jeopardy, depriving them of the learning that they need is the best path to get more resource. Maybe that's just where we disagree.
Bootner says the teachers' demands for a 6.5% pay raise, new caps on classroom size, and more funding for librarians, nurses, and counselors would actually bankrupt the district.
Our children aren't commodities. They're kids who need a good education.
Parents Joanna Belson and Jeannie Turbo not only support the teachers' strike, they plan to keep their kids home in solidarity.
I love her teachers and she loves her teachers. I can't have her walk past those teachers and walk in the door of that school.
At this point, there's no telling when this might end. The school district has offered to meet most of the teachers' demands through the 2019-2020 school year, but no further. Meanwhile, teachers in Oakland, California, and the state of Virginia have indicated that they may strike next. Bottom line, John, when the education of thousands of kids is at stake, people don't want to hear, and perhaps should not have to hear, there's not enough money.
That's absolutely right. Thank you so much, Tony.